Just wondering, are you a check mark person? What am I talking about? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, this is Jan. Welcome to another episode on the Save Money and More with Jan channel. Would like to talk to you today about how one thing can change another thing and affect another thing and affect another thing. I know. If you hear squeaking, it's because this table that I'm leaning on, my favorite little table mate that I work with, I highly recommend that product and I don't get a dime for saying it. Just saying, it's really, really good and it works all over the house. You can take it with you and just office with your computer anywhere in your home or apartment. Really, really great on the cheap. All right, enough of that. How one thing can affect the other. You remember about a week and a half back, I wasn't feeling so great. I don't know. I could have had an allergic reaction to something, or I do know that I did overdo it with exercising the previous day. You know how the next day sometimes you feel like your muscles feel really sore, like, So between the allergic feel, I have those nasal allergies, like we're in the height of the season of all this stuff. So yeah, so that day just like threw me off. Now, mind you, this was just one work day that threw me off. And when I say work day, I mean, I just basically took about 7 hours off and called it a day. That's one of the beauties of when you work for yourself. If you don't feel good, you don't have to call someone else up and ask them. I don't have to pick up the phone, go, hey, Jan, is it okay if I take a day off? And then I have to wait for Jan to say, oh, it's okay or it's not okay. No, Jan takes the day. Another thing I highly recommend, but I want to talk to you today about how one thing affects another. So, okay, all good said and done. This is one of the reasons why I totally agree about recording my shows in advance. So, my shows were pre recorded. It's not like, well, you're not going to get a recording because I recorded the shows last week. So, I knew that part was okay. However, my no frills videos, not that anyone cares about how I put a show together, but I just want to explain how one thing affects another. Okay. So, because of that day off, if you will, okay, it threw me off in the writing of my no frills videos for the following week. Okay. So I'm like, okay. So it was just that was just one thing. And I said, that's okay. I'll just write them up on Sunday morning. Right. So then Sunday morning comes because I like to batch record my no frills videos for the whole week on a Sunday. Again, planning ahead, making sure you guys have your no frills, right? Everything interruption that you could think of on planet Earth occurred that Sunday morning. I was just recovering from whatever the thing was that happened to me and regaining my ducks lined up in a row. I'm a check mark person. I'm a check mark lady. I like to write down my tiny tasks, my little plans for the day, my little baby goals for the day. And every single time I do, I say to myself, and I literally put a check mark next to it. So everything felt almost check markish, but except for one thing, because of all of those interruptions, unexpected phone calls, other things that came up, things that I can't even identify. It was just crazy stuff. Before you know, it was pushing like the really end of the day, which for me, unfortunately, my end of the day mentality is like 5 o'clock mentally and physically. I go on the decline, okay, because I'm up super early and I'm a morning person. Right now, you're listening to me all revved up at 6:37 in the morning on the previous Monday that you're going to actually literally hear this recording, okay? Because in the morning, I'm a morning person. In the evening, I'm a like, see you tomorrow. No, no. I mean, I'm polite, I'm speakable, but I'm just not interested in doing any sort of, heavy lifting, if you will. I'm just not. Just want to wind it down, have my little dinner, kick back, maybe a little bit of light exercise. And that's a big maybe, maybe. Okay. But isn't it interesting how one thing changes another? What do I mean? So I didn't get to write my shows on that date. And that meant what? That I went to my community post and I posted, sorry, there will not be a no frills video on Monday. So last Monday no, there was not a no frills video. So I just, I let you know instead of just going like for the faithful that follow my stuff every day and they don't see an upload, they might say, huh? That's not like Janet. Jan always has stuff up. True. I have to say for myself, 99 and 44 to 100% of the time, that is true. Good old reliable Jan. But I'm thinking, and I felt badly about it. I really, really do. So I said, you know what? So the next day, the plan is because this is the actual day, is to restore to make sure that I execute my normal remainder of this week. No frills videos. I don't know if you like them, don't like them, but there are those that do. And to reach out to someone maybe that never heard them, because there's something to be said about a 5 minute or less video. It's like a deli select. Some people prefer longer form content. This is where my afternoon show comes in, the 2 o'clock one. That one could be anywhere beyond 8 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 12. Could even be higher than that. So I'm not going to put a number on it because I don't know. It all depends on the subject matter, and it all depends on how much important stuff I need to say on that specific video. So there's like no guideline on it. But the no frills ones are very item specific. I really, really, really try to keep them short. Some people have not too much battery power on their phone, or they don't have enough time, or they want to hear a whole bunch of different little shows on different channels, which is amazingly wonderful. So they don't mind taking 5 minutes here and the 5 minutes there. Here, five, there, five. So I totally get the it factor on that. But it makes me wonder too, just like that threw me off, just that one little very busy, everything came at me kind of day threw me off to create my no frills video on time. I'm wondering, could that be the case even with saving money? Yes, it can. How many times did you say, listen, today's the day. I'm going to take out my ledger or notebook or scrap paper or whatever it is you use to write down your budget, if you will. And you really mean it with like totally great intention. That is your goal. You really, really mean it. And for whatever the reason, you don't know the reason, things come at you too. The best thing that I could say is try to schedule the things that are really important to you at a time where you are least likely to be interrupted. In my case, henceforth, while you hear me say, well, I recorded that video at 5 a.m. or I recorded that video at 6 a.m. Yeah. For me, yeah. Because I've had situations where I'm like, I want to be like the rest of the world. Why can't I record my stuff at 9 a.m.? You know what I'm saying? Because I know in my world, because I have a lot of family and friends, and just phones ring, okay, and it's like hard to explain to people, but I'm really working. That's another thing. Before I go today, anybody out there that works from home, I'm sure a lot of you listening are people that work from home or content creator. How do you manage to keep your interruptions at a reduced level? How do you convince some people in your life that just because you're working from home means you're really working? Some people think because you work from home you're not working. I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. I don't want to have to pay for studio space. That would be ridiculous. Pay for studio space somewhere else, commute to somewhere else, and make somebody else more money. No, isn't that just insane? Well, we have methods today that we could do a lot of things working from home. In my specific thing that I do, I can work from home. Now, of course, in many jobs, you have to be there. I mean, for example, if you dig a ditch, you can't dig a ditch. I don't think you can. You can't really dig a ditch remotely from your house. Maybe one day, yes. Hey, who knows? Maybe yes. Maybe that is true. I don't know. But I don't plan on digging a ditch anytime soon in my life. But I do know this. I want to do things more efficiently. And yes, one thing that doesn't go your way can really, really ruin the course of the day. Just like how many times have I ever mentioned, for example, that if you don't take down the meat or the protein or the main thing that you want to have for dinner, for example, down in the morning time from the freezer, then you know what? There's a greater propensity for you to have to run to the phone or jump in the car or wait at the long lines through drive through or spend extra at takeout. That affects your meal. It affects your wallet. What could affect you? What could we do to make these little mishaps in more of a reduced manner? Anyway, it was just a little bit of time and food for thought on this Monday. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate every single body listening, all of your time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. Speaking of like, I don't ask you to click like for beauty metrics. That doesn't make a difference to me. I really don't care. But it makes a difference to this platform because if you don't take a second to click like, the platform doesn't know it. They're not going to elevate my video to other people that might get a little help from it. And all it takes is what, a nanosecond? Thank you so much for doing that. That is tremendous channel support. And if you made it this far into the video, I wouldn't understand why one wouldn't click like. Thank you. Have a great day.